Party people in the place to be. Live, kinda. We're going through some stuff from 58 Dream Street. We're changing the games. Hello, Thedev. Happy Sunday to you as well. Hello to anyone else out there. I hope that at least for some brief period of time, Zoe! Hello. Hopefully for at least a brief period of time here, we'll be relatively synchronous to each other. We will find. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Smash myself in the face with a brick. Just get the party flowing. Cedric, hello. Oh, hey. I should say, for the sake of anyone who didn't get the reference Cedric was making, so I don't sound horrifying, that the cover of Andrew WK's first album, and Cedric was making a reference to Party Hard by Andrew WK. The cover of his first album is a shot of him with blood pouring out of his face and his nose and mouth, and that was not a special effect shot. He's an enthusiastic, committed guy, so he slugged himself in the face with a brick to get the real blood look going. Like, that's a step beyond even what professional wrestlers do. Professional wrestlers will put a horizontal cut on their forehead near their hairline to get the crimson mask going. I've never seen a professional wrestler in the middle of a match, turn their back to the audience and the camera to slug themselves in the face with a brick. Anyway, Thedev, things are good. Things are, except with the internet, which continues to be a problem. We'll see how long we're even remotely in sync with each other. But there has been progress, or I don't know if it counts as progress, but movement anyway, which is that I've finally done, my ISP was very, very helpful about immediately doing a line check the first time I called them. They came out, they checked the lines, they said the lines are fine. And then from there, I understand, this is not ultimately a criticism of them. Pardon me. I know why they have to do it. But at that point, my ISP's attitude, or their procedure, launching the game here too, folks. It won't just be me speaking over a background here. Then they have to do all the, have you unplugged and replugged the monitor? I mean, we did that before they even did the line test. But yeah, have you tried this with the monitor? Have you tried jacking directly in to the modem instead of using the router? That would not be a tenable long-term solution, but it would at least identify that the router wasn't working. Anyway, finally, what also happened though is the very helpful first tech support guy that I spoke to, I think among other things, I got the sense that he was expecting me to be calling back in such a timely enough fashion that I would just be dealing with him. So I don't think he put full notation of all the things we tried. And so then when I had finally given everything a shot and tried some things like tweaking OBS settings, stream at a lower resolution, lower frame rate. Oh, I can turn down the game audio, Zoe. Absolutely. This is Ultima 7, the Black Gate. It is indeed a tremendously fun game. My microphone is doing that thing. This should also help. Every now and then, in the deep in the sound settings of Windows, my microphone just turns itself down. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, ISP problems are not... I think it's the ISP at this point, because I set up my shit for streaming to YouTube. Not that I was going to try to migrate there, but just as a test. And we tried that. I tried that and nothing. Same problems with YouTube. Can't stream anything. Can't stream a static image. We could all use more coffee, I'm sure, Zoe. Oh, yeah. So, I don't even know where I am right now. I think we're in the Buccaneers den? No. Oh, right. The Serpent Isle with their kick-ass theme song. We are going to leave, though. But I'm glad we got it playing. Oh, this is not our ship. We can't steal this ship. Right, I'm docked at the fancy western dock of the Serpent Isle. So anyway, the latest development is that when I was finally able to call back and say, hey, I've tried this and this and this, and I got a new Ethernet cable in case it was the cable. Let's kill this wolf team. Oh! Kill something I didn't even see. A sea monster that the Avatar himself hadn't spotted, but the whole team is on it. So now they're sending me a new modem. So the new modem will arrive probably on Tuesday. The way they do things is because they're the one picking out the modem and sending it to you. Where am I trying to go? East from here. Because they're the one officially sending you the modem, they configure it. All right, fine. We'll kill you, sea monster, if that's the way it's got to be. Another one. It's also dead. It's tedious. It's frustrating because, among other things, I don't have time every single day, especially during the work week, to be on the phone with my ISP, even though they answer pretty quickly. I want to be very clear, they've been very helpful. But ultimately, yeah, we haven't fixed it yet. Now they're sending a new modem. Then, gotta wait for the modem key to be the one that gets set up. But fortunately, I'll know exactly when that happens because my old modem will entirely stop working and I'll just lose internet access altogether. And then I can plug in the new modem. And if that doesn't fix it, well then it's probably some sort of weird infrastructure issue. And if that's what it is, blocked. Nah, forget it. Sorry. Oh, come on. Just trying to get away from these tentacles. Never mind. We'll kill them. A glorious victory. And now we're all too cramped. Oh, goodness. We're never going to get anywhere. At least we're gaining experience. Yeah, so then the trick becomes that my ISP is actually a reseller, so it's not even their lines. And if they so if there's something they can try, then great. If they tell me, give a call, oh, I miss calamari. There's plenty of tasty animal food, like food made of animals, that you can get good vegetarian substitutes for, especially now in 2023. I have never even seen a vegetarian attempt at imitation calamari, let alone one that I'm confident would be tasty enough for my to live up to my memories. Oh no, evil birds. The evil birds look exactly the same as the friendly birds, with the caveat that they try to kill you. That's how you know. That's how you can tell them apart. And that's true in real life, too. Yeah, you probably have no quarrel with a bird if it's not trying to kill you. But if it is trying to kill you, that bird is your enemy. I don't care what the encyclopedia tells you about it being a friendly, docile species of bird. Once you're under attack, you got to defend yourself. You and your 6 friends have got to get your broadswords and just go to town on that bird. So the real frustrating part will be, so my ISP might say, well, there's Skara Brae, I've gone too far to the east. My ISP might wind up having to say, here's the plan. We're going to call the ISP that owns the lines and see what they can do, and then I'm waiting for a thing. But even worse, it might come to the point, let's go to Murder Island. Make some money on the island where just an endless array of shipwrecked pirates come to attack you. The ISP, maybe I'm stuck waiting for them to play phone tag, which would be bad, but I'll live with it. But worse would be if my ISP says, maybe you should call. Right? If they say that, maybe you should call the ISP whose lines we're using, and then I'm going to say, no, I think I'll call the ISP with different lines and just, get their internet. The worst ISP in Canada, the one that everybody hates from coast to coast, does offer crazy high-speed internet packages. What is it blocked by, Saramed? Yeah, see? I don't think it was blocked before, Saramed. At any rate, yeah, so my hope here is what this all means is that at most we have one more weekend after this of crummy, slow streams ahead of us. Laggy streams where the audience falls further and further behind me. Hey, folks. As I drift into the future. I would certainly like to get this all over and done with. Because it's, ultimately I'm still playing Ultima and making jokes out loud, so I'll have a good time. But I'd have a much better time. Right, this is the lookout tower the shipwrecked people have built. Alright. It's grim, but we are just gonna kill you and your dog, sir. It's nothing personal. Oh, this is just a bag. We don't gotta worry. They don't trap bags. 19 coins. Killing a man for 19 gold coins. What a world. So we'll see. It's been very frustrating. Even though I can still have fun doing the stream. What is this? Oh, it's the prow of a ship. Of what was once a really cool looking ship. Any other pirates spawned here right now? If we wait a while, usually around here. I'm going to hang tight and see if maybe I can... Here we go. Oh, it's just a dog. It's much sadder. When it respawns more pirates, you're like, oh, sweet. More opportunities for gold. When it respawns dogs, all you really get out of it is killing a dog. Yeah. So anyway, while I can still stream and have fun, and like Friday Night Forgotten Circles has so far... We're not promoting it yet, because I don't want to deliberately draw in new potential viewers to be wildly frustrated by being constantly buffering and being like 20 minutes behind where we actually are unable to chat with us in real time. But we can still do it, so it's still fun. And it works fine on video on demand, and people are watching it on YouTube. And now I can sit here, I can play Ultima, and I can know in my heart that you folks are there, or at least that I think you're there. I'm pretty sure most of you are still there. But what I cannot do, 8 coins. The murders are getting, or not murders, it's not murder when it's in self-defense, but the killings are getting less profitable, which is bleak. Oh. Oof. As Biggie Smalls famously said, die for $1, life ain't sweet. Okay. That's enough on this terrible island. Yeah, it's killing. It's killing. It's not murder when they attacked you first. Oh. Raise the gangplank. Sails up. Okay. I'm not sure what the food situation is, so I'm just going to play it safe and stop by Moonglow. Yeah. Anyway, but the streaming is definitely less fun, obviously. That's what we're like closing in on, right? Is just like terrible things happening and me finding out. Everyone on the stream is trying to tell me like, oh wow, Russia has launched nuclear missiles. The government is telling us all to get to our homes, and I'm here streaming. Get below ground if possible, and I'm just not going to the parking garage because everyone's warning me about it in the chat 20 minutes ago. All of a sudden, the sliver of window beyond the blackout curtain turns bright orange and red, and I'm like, huh? Okay, here we are. Let's find out what the food situation is before we go willy-nilly loading Spark down with more food than he can reasonably ask to carry. Looks, though, that's not a sausage, that's a boomerang, but we do have... Oh, those are gloves, not jerky. Gloves and jerky look similar. ELO sometimes jumps in and demands to be the food carrier. Ah! And he is. We have all kinds of mutton. So that's good. Even I, vegetarian, must concede that salad's got nothing on this mutton. Exactly, Cedric. I mean, so far it seems like we're not doing too bad, given that 50% of the frames have dropped from this low-intensity stream playing a game from decades ago. Now, oh man, we're gonna compound the... That's true. I'll be like, for a second I'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake, and then it's all fine. Then it's good. Then I can cope. I choose to believe that I'm an optimist. I bet that I'll get my internet fixed before we're all destroyed in nuclear Armageddon. I'm sure we'll share those terrifying last moments together in real time right here at 58 Dream Street. Okay. Where have I gone to? You know what? Also, I hear Abra beckoning me. I ought to go see what this little kitty wants. So hang tight, gang. I'll be back. I'm not exactly sure when because of delays and stuff, but I won't be physically gone from my chair very long. Hang tight. All right, back in business. Let me just glance over. Yeah. Oh, okay. At least judging by the Twitch stream manager, yeah. Drop frames notwithstanding, it looks like we're only like maybe 30 seconds apart so far. So the latency is not too bad yet. We'll see what happens as time goes by. Oh no. It's become nighttime and I'm also totally lost the plot. What I'm trying to do right now, sadly, compounding the frustration of dealing with the poor stream, I'm trying to go to the worst town in all of Britannia, Vesper, the city of awful racists. Where on earth am I? Cannonades. Is this another weird little island? Oh, let's land on the weird island and see what horrors await. Pull on up. Okay. Hail, British! We are continuing, sadly, to have connection issues here. Really, Saramed? I don't think the gangplank is blocked. We're continuing to have connection issues, British. But I hope we're at least in quasi-real time. For some period. Fingers crossed. Okay. Where am I? I ought to have Elo bust out his trusty sextant, but I also need to sleep because it's nighttime. And then I'm probably going to need to buy more food. Because everyone's going to want to eat in the morning like these people do. Abra. I just dealt with her thirst. And I don't think she has any other major material needs right now. So when I hear her meowing, I'm not going to check on her. But it's not because I don't care. It's just because I know her so well. I'm confident it's no big deal. Okay. Yeah, well, what's new? What's new is that there's movement on the connection issues. My prediction is that if not next weekend, the weekend after, unless there's some especially horrible thing going on that we haven't figured that, like, beyond, well, if it turns out, like, literally Amazon and Google are conspiring to render me unable to stream to YouTube and Twitch, which I want to be clear, I'm not a paranoid madman. I don't think that's the case. I think we'll be either my ISP will have this fixed this week, or I will be with the worst ISP that nonetheless has terrific upload speeds the following week. Found the bedroll. There we go. Took a week off, but it did not affect my ability to find that bedroll in the backpack. Give me 9. No, give me 10, buddy. I want to make sure the pub is open when I wake up so we can buy more food, since I get the feeling that these companions of mine are going to want to go to town on the mutton as soon as I wake up. Must. Yeah. Okay. Some of us are a bit hungry. Some of us must have food. Let's all eat. I will say this. In the same way that I've come to be really persuaded by my buddy Rich's take when I described the inventory management system, and he was like, yeah, that's what a backpack is like. Like, as a guy, Rich, as an athletics coach and previously an athlete, has a lot of experience moving around and carrying a lot of stuff in a backpack. He was like, it's pretty much what it's like just struggling to find the stuff you put in there because it's all jumbled around on top of each other. It similarly occurred to me this week when I was, here, you eat first, Elo. Now you, Spark. You can see you there. Spark loves his tasty mutton. Yeah, thank you, Theta. That is a good clarification of what I said. More precise. I think that's a fair point too, David. And hello, by the way. My 35 tribes that explain Canadian politics. Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds like something I gotta see. Let me find my scratch pad. Can't find it. I'll make a note on an index card, as I often do. My 35 tribes that explain Canadian politics. Hey, Jacket 320! And hello, by the way, David. In addition to agreeing with you that maybe realism in backpack management isn't what you should be striving for in your RPG design, I'm also just glad that you're here. So hello. How what came of the tutor job opportunity? How'd that turn out? Okay. Everybody's eaten. Oh, wait. No? Did not everybody eat? Did I, the avatar, forget to eat? No, the avatar ate. What about you, Jana? Okay, John is happy. Oh, if I'm interpreting that emoji right, and I think I am, David, I'm sorry to hear that, but what I would say is this. Not just the, hey, that's something. Because what I want to say, Zoe, I'm also glad that you caught me. Oh, penguin question mark. That's a great username, and welcome. Oh ho! Wow, betrayed Jam. Let me just say, I'll make you the same offer I make everybody, and we don't have much time because the mods are about to ban you forever. But if you just give me a whole lot of free followers right now to show me that you have them, then I'd be more open to talking about paying for more. But at any rate, unless that I've had to step away from the computer for a moment, I don't think we're going to have much time to talk, Betrayed Jam. Yeah, so the first thing to say, yeah, David, is that, like, you got to the interview. That's great. That's a good sign. Keep plugging away just because, like, if you made the interview, you're capable of eventually getting the job. But also, just take heart. Oh, Danielle is calling me. I have another reason for you to take heart, so don't leave while I'm on intermission. Hang tight, gang. Back in business, the correct style of canned tomatoes are being acquired from the grocery store on my behalf. Thank you, Danielle. So, the other reason, the especially important thing that I'd like to say, which is that the first time that I applied to teach the summer version of the course that I teach now, I applied. I wasn't the TA, but I was marking for that course. I had a master's degree in English literature, and it's a first year writing course. And I had the recommendation of the people who normally taught the course, the regular instructors. I had their recommendation for the job, and I applied, and not only did I not get an interview, they didn't even just call me to say, like, hey, or not call me, but they didn't even, like, I didn't get a notice that said thank you for your application, someone else has been chosen. I didn't get an interview. I didn't get anything. And then time went by, and I'm now possibly one of the only people in my entire institution who managed to actually turn part-time marker into a career track that got them onto the faculty of the university. Oh yeah, that's who you are. Great. Pleasure talking to you, but you are not at all who I'm looking for. Of course, this place isn't open yet. I should have checked my watch before I went to sleep. Oh my goodness. Now that I remember that I have my watch back, I'm not wearing it, but I have it. I think I'd have to put down the spell book to enjoy the pocket watch on my person. Bananas. Oh, these friggin' scrolls. Stone chips. Why am I holding stone chips? What's with this? I have this weird... I don't remember picking this key up. And, like, I established a recent policy of as soon as I know what door a key opens, I just leave it by that door. So why do I have this weird key? It kind of, like... That's not a skull. But the ornateness of it and the shape in general makes me think, like, skeleton key? I don't remember where I got it. I mean, it would be awesome if there was a skeleton key in this game, because key management, the pocket watch, It's 11:34. Why are they not serving food at the tavern? Hey, did I just walk? Oh, there's a tiny space. I was like, oh, we just glitched through the bar. Come on, dude. It is almost noon. Probably he opens at noon. I hope so. Like, not every restaurant is to serve brunch, but, like, lunch would be something. Then we can get off of this rock and go to a much worse rock. Well, that's... I mean, always... You're never losing if you're learning. I know that's an extraordinarily cheesy thing, but I believe it in my heart. But also, you know, electronics repair also a marketable skill. And if you're making money in the short term, that's also great. And you're doing a good service. So I'm sure the people receiving the refurbished... it's got to be mutton. No, let's splurge. Let's have trout. I don't know if it's actually splurging for trout. It's possible the trout is cheaper than mutton. At any rate, there are 7 of us. Let's have 2 meals of trout. 14. Oh, yeah. I got away from this, but just like I came to see the... whether or not I buy it as a... convincing me it's a good gameplay choice, Rich did sell me on inventory management being so frustrating in this game is actually extremely realistic. In the same way that I'm sold on that, it occurred to me one day recently in the last couple of weeks when I was, as I often am, being very frustrated about the existence of lunch as a meal. Not that I don't like eating lunch if there's something easy and tasty provided to me. Oh, wow. Oh, man. That's an excellent quest chain, David. That you first saved Christmas for a family, and because you saved Christmas for a family, you received the microscope, which we were then able to use to fix the USB, to then retrieve. That's great. Very glad that worked out like that. Yeah, so I was getting mad that I had to have lunch. Because, like, oh my god. What an annoying thing. I just ate breakfast. Had to get breakfast done to get out the door. Oh, for anyone watching later, my path wasn't straight either. Left school after the 10th grade. I think that's middle school in the US. Basically what you're legally required to attend. Got a job, training as an electrician, went back to school to get my limited high school diploma, and then you can read the rest off the screen. And it occurred to me that, except for the baby bird part where you have to manually feed everybody, this game does do a really good job of simulating how frustrating it is as an adult to be responsible for feeding yourself. So many times every day. ELO, my friend. Give me a reading on the sextant. 12 south. Okay. Popping up the map. 12 south. Right, I didn't even... Oh, British. I forgot to finish reading your message after I said that now everybody can read it on screen. That is quite a path. My path was also... My career path was like... I've likened myself to a leaf on a stream. I never had any ambition or drive. Except that I like doing well at things, so as long as I kept going to school, I could always thrive in that environment. Rich once described me, my best friend Rich once said, James, I believe that you could do literally anything that you put your mind to that somebody was giving you a grade for. And that path didn't take me to anything. I couldn't find. It took me a long time to. I had no sense of what I wanted to do. I was the proverbial overeducated, underemployed millennial for quite some time. Okay. I believe I can find Vesper now, having looked at the map. Well, and like another thing to keep in mind, Dave, is just like sometimes even when they're doing an open interview process, like they've identified the candidate they want to hire already, and they're doing it to like check some HR or union boxes. I guess maybe not likely union in your local context, but yeah, there's so like the reason. It really is, David. It tells you that it's this is a good item. Why would it sparkle this much if it wasn't worth equipping? Okay, we found it. The worst place in the world. We're there. So yeah, like it's like when you do get a job, you know that something went right and you showed yourself to be the best candidate that they wanted to hire. When you don't get a job, so often you don't really know at all what happened. And it could have been so many things. And I don't know how often it is, especially if, you had to do some kind of, proving yourself thing prior to getting an interview. I would bet against the thing being that you were bad in some way. Sometimes just there's someone awesome. Or there's someone like, there was a really qualified woman and they were like, hey, like, we don't employ a single woman. Maybe it would be a good look. Oh, hey, Blorn. Sorry, I temporarily forgot how much I hate you. Didn't mean to bother you. No, I'm just trying to think, who would I talk to who was going to tell me that Elizabeth and Abraham were here, but they left? Probably the Fellowship. I don't want your training, racist trainer. I hate this place. Hate it all. Oh, come on. It's the Mining Corporation. There's some racist lady just tending to her lawn. How do I know they're all racists? I've spoken to them all. They can't wait to tell you. There's no pretense. There's no I'm not a racist but with these folks. It's just, hey, have you heard the good news about racism? It would be, like, obviously British, they, in their various retconnings, they tried to just take away the kind of, freewheeling stuff from the early games, where Richard Garriott was just, throwing stuff in. There is, from what I understand, what's the danger? Oh, it's a snake. Kill it quick before someone gets poisoned. What am I trying to say? Oh, goodness. Yeah, from what I understand, in Ultima 1, all that spaceship stuff, the whole space fighting mini game and all that, was just that he had leftover disk space, and he did not want to leave anything. Oh, this is the Fellowship, isn't it? No, it's the Town Hall, though. Maybe the mayor can tell me. Are you the mayor? Remind me? Right, you're Liana. And you are The mayor's clerk. Oh, right. Now I remember. There's a terrible lazy mayor here. Who? Hey, Abra. What's up, sweetie? I don't know what she wants. I mean, probably just my attention, which is fair. But I'm committed right now. Okay, so you have anything to say about the mayor? She unofficially respects him. Okay. Thank you, I guess. Hey, do you know about the fellowship folks that were supposed to be coming through town, sir? Yes. Okay, we can ask him. But it would be a funny touch, British, I was trying to say, if, at the bottom of some dungeon, we could just find there's a single ray gun in the game. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't allow that. I didn't really expect your folks to take a moral stand on the fellowship, given the other situations here. Although, did you know? Geez, maybe I can sow some dissent by just pointing out that the fellowship does allow gargoyles to join. And they've gone to Moonglow to conduct training for the branch leader. Great. But I do know that they were going to stop at the Britannia Mining Company branch on the way out of town. He doesn't know why. For a second I was excited. I thought we were just done with this place. Hopefully for the entire game. But no. We have to go to the mining company. Yeah, so, my goodness. 57.3% of frames dropped. Just absurd. I'm going to take a look right now at the stream manager. Just out of curiosity. Well, I'm getting ahead of you folks. And I think this is going to be another relatively brief stream for this reason. But I'm not that far ahead. Oh, Cedric, are you making a Serpent's Hold reference? Because I may just have actually already been. Ugh. Racial hatred pamphlets here. Nobody else is here. So, like, I feel like I'm supposed to talk to whoever's in charge here. I have a bad feeling too, just because we're in this place. Briefly tempted. Squeaky, what's the matter? Okay, hold on. Is there something you want? What do you want? Meow. Well, at least we can enjoy Abra's presence in the background. Excellent, happy. You know what? In terms of British, it's been a long time since you asked me what's new. One thing that's new is that this week I finally got the cats in for their annual checkup, which it got bumped a couple times due to a reason. Emergencies, like the vet having emergencies and being like, sorry, we can't do your checkup. Ooh. Okay. Well, I look forward to that. And I am pleased to report that Abra, seen here, remains in both cancer and diabetes remission and is otherwise has a pretty clean bill of health. They had fleas somehow, which is, gross. But fortunately, flea treatments for cats are pretty easy to administer and pretty effective nowadays. So already the excess scratching is stopped. What am I doing? I'm just hoping that this person is like on their lunch break or something. Because, yeah, I don't want to do anything exciting while we're dealing with this horrible increasing 442 now. What could that mean? The wild thing, now that you mentioned that, Theta, for me, the strangest part has been that after the, hey, could you unplug your modem, plug it back in? Even though you, the guy was like, I understand. I believe you now that you're telling me you've already tried this, but like, it's what we got to do first. So could you just verify it? But after doing that, one of the first things there, it's just like, are you streaming wired? Because that should go better. And I realized that I had gradually fallen out of even bothering to set up an Ethernet cable for my streams, just because I was getting such good quality internet from my ISP literally right up until the day that Friday Night Frosthaven debuted. Just brutal. Okay. I'm going to go back once more. If it's past 5 o'clock and they're not there, then we're going to... Okay. One last check, although obviously they're not going to be there. Yeah. Okay. Let's get out of here. For now. I'll come back. I know for a fact, it must be the case, that there are Ultima fans who watch me play sometimes and think like, oh my god, could this guy just focused? Could you just focus and just do a single quest to completion without being like, you know what, let's go check this out. But I can't, and I never will. I'm never going to. I won't lie to you and say that like someday I'm going to be a really efficient gamer. Ha. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Moonglow. It's possible that I need to complete the talk at the Britannia Mining Company step before I can do the follow-up step. But let's find out. You know what? It's nice that I've already dealt with Smith, because it puts me at ease knowing that I'm not just going to chase Elizabeth and Abraham around for the entire game and then meet them late in the game and they say, oh, one of the great secrets of the Fellowship can be found at these coordinates, and it just takes me to Smith. Not that it wasn't pretty funny when they boomed us, and me most recently perhaps, in Ultima 6. Hey Abra, what's going on, sweetie? What a nice little cat. Oh, here's a great thing. You know what? While we're talking ISPs and customer support, one excellent thing I'll say for my ISP is that they seem to actually use caller ID and pay attention to it and know who I am when we start to speak, which is so much more. Did I go past the Fellowship branch? I'm actually not sure. So much more than most larger organizations whose customer service you use nowadays. It's like, punch in your account number, go through 7 menus, being very, very specific with slowly read out selections to tell us exactly what your problem is so we can route you correctly. And then you get through all that. No, that's the trainer. And you're just routed to an entry line person who has to ask you for all that information because none of it's been provided to them by the system. My ISP is at least not like that. They're really great, actually, as far as ISPs go, especially considering that they're a reseller. They're not a big company. They've been as helpful as I think I can reasonably ask them to be. We just haven't fixed the problem, and that's sad and frustrating. We'll see what happens. As time goes by, I don't remember where the Fellowship building is here, but we'll keep going and we'll track it down. Other things I'm definitely going to do today while I'm knocking out things that are not dealing with the Liche quest, because that would be a drag to not have everyone in sweet real time. Aha. Ooh, very nice. That sounds convenient. Alright. Oh, but it's probably too late. Nope. Here's our weird cultist. Sure, your mileage may vary with some kind of smile. Oh good, we can cut to the chase. Have you seen Elizabeth and Abraham, man? Gosh, aren't they lovely? And now they've gone to Turfin. Yeah, so this is one thing. I should have gathered it by the fact that even the Fellowship leaders keep on saying it to me, but I thought it was just because I wasn't wearing the membership medallion. But a viewer in the chat, whose name is slipping me right now, but shout out to who that was, because I do appreciate it, pointed out to me that apparently I actually didn't completely join the Fellowship. Which I don't consider a spoiler because I thought I had, and I was just wrong, and I would have kept on going through the game wrong, expecting something to happen that was never going to happen. You know, expecting whatever new stuff opens up because you joined the Fellowship. I thought was already open to me. It's never opened up. And obviously, we do want to join the Fellowship and take them down from the inside. And I did the uncomfortable test. The Voight Confesque personality test, where they're like, you know, there's a turtle on its back in the desert. It's struggling. You're not helping it. All that stuff. So here we go. We're going to go to Turfin. We're going to see what's up there. We're going to go to Britain. We're going to talk to Batlin some more and officially join the Fellowship and then see what that does. And then the one other thing I will definitely do today is go to the Buccaneer's Den again. And I don't know. I feel like I must have everything I need to get into those tunnels, and yet I can't get in. So I'd like to poke around some more and just see if I can get in. Okay, going south. Wait, that must already be the Isle of the Avatar. Oh no. Should have looked at the map before I set sail. Okay. Oh, this is actually fairly easy to read. If I go back to the Isle of the Avatar, sail south along it, there will be a point where it should become pretty clear to me that it's time to shoot east. I haven't explored the Isle of the Avatar yet, I don't think, but that seems like something that I'll be told when I should do it. Stop sailing for a minute so that we can all gang up and kill a single bird. Okay. Have I already hit? Okay. If I go west from here, do I immediately hit Turfin? I do. Great. Turfin's port is also to the south. On the southern coast. So I'll head down there. Another thing is I've been playing Live Alive on Saturdays, and I got disrupted in that playthrough by the same reason as we're disrupted all throughout this stream, all across all of 58 Dream Street's activities. Right when I was getting to the part that I've never done, sleeping in the dirt again. Yeah, right as I was getting to the part I've never experienced before, and I discovered the really cool thing that I didn't know, and I don't know if this was added to the remake or if I just missed it or didn't remember it from the last time. But at the end of the 8th character story, the character Orsted reveals himself to actually, he loses his mind. He's driven mad by grief and anger, and he becomes the Dark Lord. And then it turns out he is actually the villain of all of the other stories. And then the last leg of the journey is all the heroes of the different time periods being drawn to the one time period to try to do something about this guy. There it is, bedroll. Hopefully I can sleep with this light spell. It's not good for your sleep hygiene to cast light immediately before casting the lore spell immediately before you go to bed. I forgot to check my... it doesn't matter. I'll just sleep just a normal 8 hours to pray. You all take care. Let me know if you're hungry when we get up. Yeah. Well, we can eat now. Let's break our fast, so to speak. Hope you all like trout. Yellow does. Does he like it so much that he's carrying the trout I couldn't carry? Hell yeah, he does. One for Ceramid. One for Spark. One for Dupre. One for Diding. Ceramid. And one for Jana. So at the start of the 9th and final journey, I remembered that you could choose your starting character. But what I thought was you chose one of the 7 original heroes who are now going to unite and be drawn to the same point in history to try to stop the Dark Lord. And I thought that was the only choice you made. And then I found out when I briefly attempted to play some more Live before being like, this is terrible. I found out you have the option of picking Orsted as your starting character and then playing the It All Comes Together chapter from the perspective of the villain, which is cool. So now I want to find out how that goes, and I want to find out how the regular thing goes, and I want to beat it, move on, because it's a new year, and I don't think I'm anywhere close to finishing Ultima 7, the Black Gate. I'd like to finish something and start something new when I do finish Live Alive, which follows, knock on wood here. But if I'm correct and things are resolved in the next couple of weeks, I predict I'll finish Live Alive the end of February at the latest, maybe even earlier, and then we're on to Pool of Radiance. So I'm excited about that. If you have redeemed the viewer reward, one of the very few custom, perhaps the only custom viewer reward I've yet actually set up, called Pick a Pool of Radiance Party Member. If you have redeemed that, I have added instructions in the Discord letting you know what things are available to be picked when creating a character in Pool of Radiance. You can, if you want to just say a name and it's a name, it's an elf, he's a fighter magic user. Sure, that's great. If you want to go all the way, roll up stats and that whole thing, nothing, Forbrack. Good to see you. To wish you well as well. We just want to find whoever is this is the provisioner. Whoever could tell me what's up here. Anyway, yeah. In the Discord, I created a new channel just called Dungeons and Dragons, and I pinned the post that breaks down everything. You can even, you could roll up stats or use some apportionment method. I trust you, whatever. Do whatever you want. Okay. This is the problem with the trout-based diet. Trout, they only catch very small trout, I guess, in this world, or maybe trout are small. I'm not a fisherman. But yeah, if you go all the way and you stat the character out, Pool of Radiance has the very exploitable, not that I would ever exploit it, option to, although it has a random roll system for stats, it also gives you the option of customizing the character to make it like your favorite or your own, pen and paper D&D character. So I'm sure a lot of kids have played Pool of Radiance with a party of 6 characters that have 18 for every stat. But at any rate, if you give me some stats, however you generated them, I can put those in. I would ask that nobody, at the very least, let's try to maximize the prime stat for whatever classes are involved. But other than that, go for it. Live your dream. Come up with what you want. And we'll see how it goes. This is the trainer's place. Oh, is this building is stained glass? Is that because it's important? I don't know. It doesn't have a door where the ground makes you think it might. Other side? Wait. Oh yeah, another trainer. Quaven! What are your thoughts about the Fellowship? No, nothing. I was just hoping that you might have some word of Elizabeth and Abraham. Meanwhile, anyone who's watched this channel, I don't know how long it takes to accrue channel points, but if you've got some channel points, and it sounds at all fun to you to pick one of the characters from my 6-character Pool of Radiance party, you can redeem that. You can go for it. Oh yeah, they don't have paladins at all. They don't even have rangers. Only the 4 extreme base classes. Oh, it's ancient. In good and bad ways. Like, there are some things about... It is I, the Avatar. It's so ancient in good and bad ways. Like, it's AD&D first edition, but it's not even... At that time, AD&D first edition had rangers and paladins, I believe, but they're just not in the game. But one thing, or a couple things it has that I really like. I haven't played very much Pool of Radiance at all. Don't worry, it's a blind playthrough. But I have played one of the gold box games. I put some time in on just to get a feel for it and see what it's like. And some things about old D&D are very fun for tactical combat. Like how different wizards, like magic users, are from fighters. And the differing progression. Your fighters are vital and they're the backbone of your ability to win fights at the start. And your wizards are like made of not even glass. Like most glass is way too hard to represent like how well a wizard can hold up, magic user can hold up in combat early in a first edition D&D. And then the wizards get so powerful as time goes by. And they feel really powerful. But then there's also the rule that if a wizard takes a hit early in a round, oh, I just missed them. To have not seen that one coming. Yeah, a wizard who takes a hit in a round before their turn can't cast spells on their turn. It adds a real, like, that alone adds some real cool tactical complexity. They have left for the meditation retreat near Serpent's Hold. Yeah, obviously I have unity, man. Look at all these people who follow me wherever I go, who won't even eat unless I give them permission to do so. I'm a leader. I create unity. Avatar power. When can we rest? When it gets dark. Team, we haven't even done anything vigorous today. Well, okay. We'll keep chasing Elizabeth and Abraham for the moment, because it's pretty easy to get from Turfin to the Serpent's Hold. Is the meditation retreat on the same island? I think it might be. And certainly it won't take long to search the whole island and find it. So we will. Oh, and as I learned this... Oh, no. I learned there was a dock on the west side of the island this morning. But that's no help to me on account of the fact that it's occupied by a ship. That ship that I erroneously tried to get on, thinking it was mine when I fired up the game. Okay, right around here. We got sea monster danger. So yeah, Pool of Radiance coming up, which I'm excited for. Oof. Yeah, I can see that the gangplank is blocked. Okay, let's get off here. I think I have become waylaid. I think I might have missed my spot. At any rate, let's toss the bodies. Oh, Jana. Jana will not take the gold nuggets. It's because she's encumbered. She's extremely encumbered. What am I weighing her down with? Gold nuggets. It's an addiction with her. She just finds them so fascinating. Okay. Never mind, Jana. Saramed, you need to hold our raw and our refined money for now. No? He's not encumbered. So it's just a weird space thing. No room in the bag. No room in his backpack for gold nuggets. But one of the bags within his backpack can hold a few gold nuggets. It's realism, folks. Britannia is a living, breathing world, as we know. $34. It's the hardest way to make an easy living. Just constantly killing strangers who attack you for no reason. By the ironclad law of they started it, we're covered. What's going on this island? What is this place? Is this the Serpent's Hold Island? No, this is the southern tip of the whole continent, isn't it? Yeah, because there's Trinsic. Okay, that's easy enough to deal with. And also, I gotta look at my notes, but there's something I've been told about the Shrine of Honor. Perhaps we'll investigate that. There is lots to do. Even when you're reluctant to do the really exciting stuff. The sea serpents look so fierce. Oh. This is where we're going. Where is that? There it is. There's the fancy dock. I don't see... Ah, right. I'm just blocked by my friends. Come on, gang. Get out of the way. There we go. We made it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Pool of Radiance, but also just generally. I'm excited for a lot this year. While allowing for the possibility that other things are going to come up and occur to me that I want to play that disrupt these plans, what I definitely plan to do this year, we're going to finish Ultima 7 the Black Gate this year. I hope. Reasonably confident of that. Oh, come on, people. We just had breakfast. But as we've discussed, this is actually what it's like to be alive. Constantly raging at your own body for refusing to stay fed. And we've gone through all the trout, haven't we? Oh, goodness. Are you holding any food, Spark? Because this is approaching a crisis point. Alright. Well, I've learned my lesson, and we won't be wasting our mutton money on trout again today. It's one of those bad signs for the ongoing health of the connection that when I saw your comment about the backwards logic of the storage physics. Okay. Meditation retreat. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me just look at my notes anyway to remind myself. First, I should update. Oh no. Oh no. Girls, let's be nice to each other. Yeah. It's always sad. They're sisters. They get along most of the time. They choose, even in their fairly large home, to spend most of their time very close to each other. And then they randomly bicker aggressively. So maybe the meditation retreat is not on the island. I can't remember for sure. But I'm going to look and find out. But also, what is... Yeah, explore the Shrine of Honor. Right! Lady Tory's son, Riki, has been kidnapped by harpies, and we're good at killing harpies. The extremely gritty avatars. It's all just... Every last bit of it is at least somewhat bleak. Okay. This existence of ours. What was the other thing that I wanted to look at? Oh, yeah. Well, might be on an island near the Serpent's Hold. I might as well run around the island a little. And also go to the pub. Uh-oh. Yeah, I figured that was when it would have come up. Now, what can we do? So yeah, Pool of Radiance. Really excited for. Oh, we've got to kill the fox. Jeez. I mean, that fox. What a great tune. I don't know. Perhaps we're going to just forget about Elizabeth and Abraham for now. Wait, what's... Trainer. Oh, is the sun setting again? I have the cycles set properly. Hopefully it's just a cloud. I don't even want to look at my pocket watch and tempt fate to confirm to me. As far as sea monster sprite work goes, I think the sea serpents look the coolest they ever had, even as the giant squids are now just represented by tentacles and are kind of boring. Okay, so I'm going to search the islands around here at a nearby point, but for now what I want to do is get to Trinsic and approach the Shrine of Honor and see if we can't fight some harpies. I'm going to need to run to the washroom first, but I might as well get docked. No. Don't tempt fate by just parking on the coast, docking on the coast. We know I'm not going to find my way back to the ship conveniently and easily. Oh, it's just noon. Yeah, that was definitely pure cloud situation. Okay. We are docked at Trinsic. I'm going to throw down a save. Yes, I'm sure. Leave the menu open. Hang tight, gang. I'm going to run to the washroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Back at it. And I also think I solved the mystery of what the cats are bothering me about. Because one outcome of their vet checkup is that the vet would like them both, because they're getting a little older, to lose a little bit of weight, to be gentler. Oh, I just saved. To be gentler to. Oops. Kill it. Kill it. The vultures will pick thy bones. Single wolf. Oh, it's 2 wolves. 3. Damn them all. Shimino went running for his life there. Oh, right. I'm deliberately going into combat situation here. I should actually look into the health and wellness of my team. Hey, he at least got a few experience points. Good for him. we brought Shimino on board far later in the quest than was intended. Because I was overthinking the clue that he had a new girlfriend who was an actress. I thought that meant there was some way... Can you do this? No. Can I click on the... I was going to say paper doll. I guess they're not really paper dolls yet. Okay. It's not the shrine, of course. This is just the moon gate. The shrine is around in this area somewhere. Perhaps a little more south. Maybe I should look at the map, see if it provokes my memory. So anyway, the recommendation the vet gave me was just give them because they eat the dental food for their dry food, so big kibbles. Oh, come on. You want to eat already? Again? Okay, we can't go on the quest until we go back to Trinsic and buy more mutton. You need mutton to steel yourself for this kind of rescue mission. Ooh. We took down the wolves, but not in time to save the buck.
You are traveling in the wrong direction, my friend.
We're not allowed into town? And also, shut up, Guardian. What do you know about what direction I want to travel in? You're not my dad. Whew. Hey, how about that? I remember that from the start of the game. Do I remember where the tavern is from the start of the game? No. But we'll find it. It's not that big a town. What's this? The Fellowship Hall, of course. There's the... Oh, we smell food. That's a good sign. And if it smells good, then we must be smelling mutton. Hey, Apollonia. I would like to buy some mutton from you. Yeah, I can live with that price. I'm very well to do because of all of the indigent shipwreck victims that I kill. But I've said too much. Alright. 14 orders of mutton, and here's your 42 gold, my dear. Attaboy, Elo. Elo Fitzowen. The Mutton Wrangler, as they call him. Alright. These people want to eat right now. Well, wait till we at least get back to the road, folks. So there aren't trees blocking you when I try to tell you that it's your turn to chomp down. Alright. Out of town. Now. We eat now. Oh, goodness, folks. This time I kind of know. Which is as close as the Avatar ever comes. Virtue of wanderlust. And effortless self-distraction. Yeah, besides Pool of Radiance, which is definitely next on the docket when I clear Live Alive, or if somehow I clear Ultima 7 the Black Gate before Live Alive. Pool of Radiance. I gotta get back to Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory, the third one. And then probably I'll go right to the fourth one, and then maybe take a breather before the fifth. I want to do Starflight 2. Trade Routes of the Cloud Nebula. Very excited for that. I'm excited even to read the manual and just find out how society dealt with the revelations of the ending of the first Starflight. Did they make peace with just fueling their space travel with the literal bodies of the ancients? Did they find another way? Etc. Looking forward to that. And I would also, in terms of JRPGs, I've always wanted to... I've heard great things about Suikoden 2. I only ever played the first Suikoden, and I played it early enough in my PlayStation 1 ownership that I didn't own a memory card yet. So I've only played like 3 hours of Suikoden. And those games are being re-released. So I'm going to play them. Okay. I'm at the southern tip of the coast. So, must have to go up this way. I think I probably just saved, but saving is so convenient. Why wouldn't I just do it again? Those are the ones that I definitely know. I believe for sure I'll do all of that. I don't know, just like tons of other stuff I want to do. And it's just a matter of finding the time. Wages of War, and then, like, even though I can tell by the fact that everybody, I've only ever heard people either say Trial by Fire or Shadows of Darkness is my favorite quest for glory. Not that I'm sure there are some people who prefer the first one or the third one or maybe the fifth one. But those are the ones you hear the most. So I suspect that Wages of War might not be the most compelling. And yet, I'm excited for it because I love that series. Oh, there's good old Destard. All right. I was going to look at the map and see if it reminded me where the shrine is. I believe it's normally on the western... Oh, I see. There's like a dual peninsula. And it's the western peninsula this time that I'll go south down. Head south along to reach... Get at me. Oh, my favorite foe because of all the free pastry. Wait, where's the kid? Where's the boy? Let's move so we can see the boy. Here, kid, have a pastry. Hopefully that makes him feel better about his dad. Listen, I'm not a grief counselor. But if I find a pastry on the ground... I gotta figure that free pastry's gotta make the kid feel at least a little bit better. In fact, let's lock in the comfort pastry. Well, here we are. Here's the baby. There's a cup. Can we talk to the baby? Praise all! The child is still alive. He must be returned immediately. I agree with that. I, the Avatar, will stick... No? Am I encumbered? Do I just not have space? We shouldn't put the child in the reagent bag. Dupre? Can your big strong arms support this baby? Alright. Hey, my Avatar costume. Swaddle the baby in the Avatar costume. We didn't have to kill a single harpy. Which I guess is good. Let's go back to Lady Troy. Lady Tory, I'm sorry. Just take the most direct path possible through the dangerous woods. While holding a baby in Dupre's backpack. You can tell that all the streaming disruptions because of my internet have got me eager because I'm locked as if I was playing some intense action game that I need to focus on in my posture. I'm not just sitting here playing. like a normal person. Okay. Back to the Serpent's Hold. Okay. Is this... Could it have possibly worked out this well? I don't think so. Could that be the meditation retreat? Ah! Okay. Well, I think it's for the best that Dupre didn't run to the front lines there. I think I just heard Danielle get home. I should be a gentleman. Go say hi. So hang tight, gang. One sec. And we're back. Fedev, that's great. So you must have just had the extra encumbrance of a baby in your inventory for a very long time. Here we are. We are being very efficient baby savers. We didn't go immediately to save the baby when we knew the baby was in trouble, which is maybe not the most heroic thing. But as soon as we found the baby, we brought it back. And we did it all without provoking any further hostility from the harpies. Good for us. Okay. Well, now we just gotta find Lady Tory. I'm sensing that my baby is happy to be reunited with his mother. But you knew to hang on to it, because it just seems likely that the baby is going to come up. Oh, hello, Lee. And goodbye. Lee as in Beverly, perhaps? Lady Tory? Nope. Oh, yes. It is Tory. I just immediately did not see Miss Circus when I looked there. Oh, you know what's a terrible thing that happened to me this week in my class? It's not that bad. But I do this thing where I'm going to explain to the engineers the concept of deductive versus inductive reasoning. And I start by saying, can someone tell me a thing that they know and how they know it? And the first student to put his hand up said, I think, therefore I am. And I immediately thought, oh, cool. I'll go on a little tangent to explain the distinction between rationalism and empiricism. And I was about to say, yes, the famous Descartes line is what I would have said. Except that I just suddenly drew a blank on Descartes' name. And I was like, oh no. And so I stalled for a moment and said, let's come back to that. That one might be a little too high-level philosophy to start off with. Even though it wasn't. I could have worked it into the point I was trying to make very smoothly, except that I didn't want to humiliate myself by revealing that I had temporarily forgotten Descartes' name. I hast found thy child, Lady Tory. You're very welcome. Oh, Danielle's calling me. Hold on a sec. Back at her. Set him back gently in the cradle. Can you not do that? Alright. This is a classic Counselor Troy moment. Yes, my pressing engagement is to put your son in his cradle, because I guess you can't do it. Unless it just turns out that's not actually a thing I need to do. Let's find out. Is the baby still in the inventory? Hopefully this is the correct cradle. Hooray! I assume it was. I hope it was. Bum 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 bum. I'm not troubled. I was hoping... No. There's no reward associated, I guess, with saving young Riki. Oh well. Some might say that a good deed is its own reward. And the Avatar has to say that all the time, because the people of Britannia are constantly just choosing not to reward him for the good deeds he does. Okay, let's check the adjacent islands. Looking at the map, I see one to the east that seems like it might be a nice place to set up a meditation retreat. Okay, birds not attacking. We've maintained our allegiance with the birds. Okay. I think this island must be the one that I'm looking at. Unless I've overshot. Wait, have I wound up... Yeah, maybe I've... Let's find it. Let's find it. Nope. It's the meditation retreat. Right, I found this place. Hey, Ian. Elizabeth and Abraham here? Oh, go figure. Go friggin' figure. I just missed them. I was this close. If only I hadn't gone and got the baby. Oh, okay. Well, there's some synergy there. Goodbye, Ian. Alright, let's head up to the Buccaneer's den. Moving my window here. Okay, so I'm going to go north of the meditation retreat. Here we go. But to the... Yeah, right from this tip. Okay, if I shoot north from here, I'll hit Spectrin. But as soon as I can navigate around Spectrin, I'm on the way. Come get it. Come get it. Oh. Nice try, giant squid. Maybe you should have brought your head out of the water and used your famous ability to spit poison. You know what? Maybe becoming a fellowship member alone will solve my getting into the tunnels thing. Like maybe if I do finish up with Batlin and I come back and I talk to the fellowship guy, he'll just be like, "Oh, you want to go in the weird tunnels for some reason?" Well, I like you because you say the words. That's something to keep in mind. It's a possibility. Okay. Wait, here is our place. Our place of gambling, of gaming. We have a locked door. I guess I could try this experiment. But it seems possible that this is a plot door that can't be opened by any key. Hail, Stimpinski! I'm not sure when you said that, because I know that I'm falling further and further and further behind stream-wise. Hold on. Let me take a look at the stream manager. Yes, I'm at C in the stream manager. Suffice to say, Stimpinski, I'm glad you're here. Greetings, my friend. The big news... Oops. Oh, you know what? Whatever. One less scroll in the main pouch. Here's the weird key. Is it a skeleton key? It doesn't unlock that door, but like I said, this might be a plot door that either just can't be automatically opened. So I don't think I've tested the... Is this weird key that I can't remember where I got it from that looks nothing like the other keys and kind of looks like a skeleton key actually a skeleton key? We'll have to keep validating to find out. I'm going to run into the bathhouse for a moment. Cover your eyes, Spark. Jana, hug him against your chest so he doesn't experience inappropriate thoughts. Thought I might just do a little... Wait! Ha 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 ha! Really? I have a great feeling, team. Because we've found a secret door that isn't, I don't think, going to get us anywhere. What's this? Strange locket. Yeah, it's not great, Stimpinski, but a solution might be in sight. My ISP is sending me a new modem this week. That should arrive on Tuesday. If that doesn't work, I will give them a chance to take extraordinary effort to fix whatever infrastructure issue in the lines might happen. And if that doesn't wrap up quickly, I will make the difficult choice to be once again, for the first time in well over a decade, become a customer of the worst ISP in Canada that does nonetheless have incredibly good internet options available. I don't think it had been very much. I don't think it was very much, Stimpinski, so please do feel free to share. I'll be limited, we'll have a limited ability to discuss in real time. Okay. Hey, you know what? Nothing really seems to have come of it yet. But it was still really gratifying to find that secret door. That switch. Perhaps a similar thing might happen elsewhere. We're also, I think because of the combination of cloudy weather and precipitation, having some real slowdown. But here we are, the Buccaneer's Den, where I'd also found the secret wall, except it's done nothing for me. And it looks like there's a button there, but I think it's that switch that might be necessary to actually get in there. Jacket, that was all... I should respond to you. That was ultimately my feeling. I do mind the stream delay quite a bit. It's infuriating and discouraging me less than when it first happened. But I do mind it quite a bit. I would like to get back to having real-time, live conversations with you folks while I play. But at the same time, I wasn't going to cancel a whole weekend of streams again, because I want to play Ultima. That's what they say, Danak. Yeah, they arrived. They are some... You believe that? Okay. How about the pirate hook? Yeah, you claim that you don't know him. But I know you must be lying. But if you don't mind me just, okay, is this a button? No. That's just like confirmation. What if I move these boxes though? I'm renewed in my hope of finding a switch or something. Don't mind me tossing your stuff around, dude. Danag. If that is your real name. Just looking for any hidden switches you might have here. Did I just pick up? Rat plague in town. The sewers are clogged with rat bodies. Disgusting. Sewage in the streets. Also disgusting. Dwarven exterminator that knows just enough alchemy to use rat poison. And there's a gold fever spreading in town that makes people kill each other for anything that shimmers golden. To borrow a line from Bloodborne, this town's finished. That's a real confluence of terrible issues. Is one of us holding the podium? Or did I glitch it out of existence? I don't actually... Even if the Fellowship is not our sort, I don't want to steal their podiums. You got a podium on you, Shamino? Yeah. No, we're going to do the right thing, buddy. I know you love podiums, Shamino, but we're putting it back. Elizabeth and Abraham are allegedly here. That's big news. I'll just have to go around and look in places. I suppose the tavern might be one likely place to find them, but let's search some people's homes along the way. You know what I've been playing recently in my non-broadcast video game time when I'm able to find some? Ooh. You've got a lot of cool elements swirling that could give, like... Especially, I assume that you're the kind of GM who, if possible, wants to give some flexibility to the players. Sounds like there's a lot of different threads that they could chase in different ways in this horrible town where the sewage runs in the streets because there are too many rat corpses in the sewers. Ugh, disgusting. But the good kind of disgusting. You know what I mean. Where's my pocket watch? 9:10 p.m. Yep. We'll need to sleep soon, and then soon after that, feed. But where's the tavern in this town? I can't remember. Is it this big building? No, this is, what's his name's item shop. Is he hiding Elizabeth and Abraham in here? No. That is a difficult affliction to bring with you to the town where the sewers are clogged up because of all the dead rats. Danger. Okay. Don't actually want to break into these people's home. I'm too noble for that. Actually, I think I already did once with lockpicks. But here's the chance to test this. Is this weird key a skeleton key? I think this weird key is a skeleton key. Star Renegades had to be backburnered for a bit because right now, with both the winter semester launching and who doth live here? All right, some weird guy with a parrot. And not a... Not a parrot that says, hey, where's my Lord Master Hook? Or otherwise gives us some helpful clue. So we'll load again, but okay, that's a good sign. Unless this bizarrely ornate key is literally just the key of that door, I might have a key that unlocks all non-plot locked doors. Maybe? We'll have to do some validation, but... I'm hopeful. So yeah, so Star Renegades is temporarily backburnered. However, I got Mario Kart 8 for my Switch for Christmas. I had long... Oh, we smell food. We're there. I'd long been hesitant to purchase it simply because I had already... Oh, hey, Budo. What of the crown jewel? Yeah. Yeah. Now, we don't have to talk about anything that makes you uncomfortable, pal. Hey, mole. Nothing. I'm only and merely... Ah! It's nighttime, so the rest of them are... A lot of the regulars are at their day job, so to speak. As prostitutes. And no sign of Elizabeth and Abraham, but maybe they're hanging out in the baths. Or maybe I'll have to wait till the morning and look for them again. So anyway, got Mario Kart 8 for Christmas. I had never purchased it for the Switch because I had already purchased it and paid for the DLC at full price for my Wii U. And so I was just hesitant to pay that much. But now they got this thing with the lots and lots and lots of extra tracks being gradually released to make it more enticing. And Danielle loves Mario Kart, so I said, you know what? The time has come where it's not trying to distract you, Danak. Just really was hoping that you were Elizabeth and or Abraham. And you are? Oh, it's Blacktooth. Okay. Yeah, my hands are right here. Don't worry, buddy. Hey, was he just touching a secret switch? Wish there was a way to drill down. I don't know. Don't want to mess with his stuff right in front of him. Even though I don't think he would react. So, suffice to say, now that I had the game, I was like, well, I should get the extra levels. And you can pay for the pass, but you also just get it for free if you upgrade your Switch Online membership to the fancy version, which I had put off doing. But now it's like, well, not really any good reason left not to. So I did it. And that means that I now have the Nintendo 64 and Genesis emulators in addition to the NES and Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo Entertainment System emulators. And this all comes around to, I've been playing, wild change from the largely RPG-focused gaming I do here, I've been playing F-Zero X, the classic futuristic racing game, which I had played maybe one day with some friends when it was originally a game that was out. And specifically, there she is. Specifically, while a friend had rented it, so like, I hadn't spent a lot of time with it. I remembered. It's a day job you do at night. I suppose is the most precise way to say it.
Yes, my friend, rest.
Get out of my head.
So that you are strong and able to face the perils before
Ooh.
you.
It's the worst kind of ASMR.
Pleasant dreams.
The Guardian's voice definitely does give me a bit of a reaction when it's rumbling in my headphones. It's bad and I hate it. Okay. Well, let's try walking around and see if we can find them. Odds are they're in the tunnels that I still don't know how to access. We'll eat now. You people. Shimino. Cover your mouth at least. Mutton breath. The Avatar eats last like a true hero. Perhaps we'll buy some more mutton before we leave. We're fairly well to do right now. Anyway, yeah, F-Zero X is just a really, really cool game if you like racing games. It tries as hard as it can to be like a realistic is not the right word, but like a it's the best word I can think of. A realistic simulation of what it would be like to drive a crazy future car racing vehicle that can reach speeds of well in excess of 1,000 kilometers an hour in a form of futuristic tournament racing that is arguably illegal in the dystopian future where it takes place. It is like, it's so fast, it's so hard to control the vehicle. The whole time you're playing, you're thinking, this is too dangerous. You can't let people do this. So you really have that feel. And then in those sweet moments where you actually lock in and you're taking the curves right, not losing control of your super fast vehicle, it just feels so cool. Really great game. So I've been enjoying that and just poking around, mostly for now, looking at classic N64 games that I never got around to playing. I don't know. I'm increasingly thinking that door is going to turn out to be plot gated. I need to somehow convince the casino owner to open it, but I have no dialogue options to do so, which maybe comes back to me not being a fellowship member. Formally. So, and of course all the Buccaneers sleep in. I do want to at least go in the tavern when it's bustling and see if Elizabeth and Abraham are there. Huh, Stempinski, I remember it in the sense that I've heard of it. But I don't remember it in the sense of having ever actually played it. Danger! There's rats! Hardly matters though, because this thing still just claims to be a wall, even though we can clearly see the button on it. I don't think this is going to work. But I'm here. No. I see nothing more. It was worth a shot. This is surely just Danag. Hey, Danag. Yeah, I thought maybe... Nope, he's got nothing for me. Okay. If they don't turn up real soon, I'll go to Britain. Talk to Batlin. Join the Fellowship. Also convert my gold nuggets to gold while I'm there. And then come back and try. And then I'll probably wrap up early. And we'll all turn our hopeful hearts to the near future when perhaps... I want to try this again. Looking around back here at the brothel. If I open the windows? No. Okay. Well, in fact, it seems plausible. Wait, bathhouse. Sorry, I shouldn't just straight up call it a brothel. I'm sure that the brothel master would be very upset. Bath master? Can we go back there? Yeah. Is there another funny hidden switch? My eagle eye. Wait a minute. Did I close the thing up above? Was I being too responsible? Because obviously I should test whether that upstairs switch just works for the whole door. Boo boo ba doo, boo boo ba doo, boo 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 boo. Come on. Nah. It's probably that switch. 1 second. I'm not sure it would even be a solution, but let me look to the grimoire, the spell book, for a second. Telekinesis is still a spell. Who knows if you can... It seems doubtful you can use it through a wall you can't see through. It seems like the kind of spell that you would need a... Wait a minute. No, I just read the whole text. What if the text has more details, like the text for Seance turned out to? Okay. We'll cover our tracks behind us, so they don't know we were up to something untoward. Just bringing our boy to the bathhouses just to get him some culture. Not for any kind of questionable reason. We have the run of the place here in the casino, but do not see a clumsily hidden switch here. Can't read the hidden documents. Okay. Now, only thing left to do, I think, for now, is to hit the tavern, which I think is over here, but I could easily be wrong. Could be and M. Don't worry, once we find it, our drunkard friend will let us know. Gotta remind myself now by saying it out loud that when I do wrap up, I gotta do the thing where I don't stop the stream until it's wrapped up for the viewers as well as me. Okay. Back to the tavern. They're all still asleep. Wait, who are you? That's just Mandy. Hey, Mandy. Okay. I think Elizabeth and Abraham are probably in the secret tunnels. Which maybe getting in proper with the Fellowship can help with. Maybe. At any rate, let's test the theory. This is not the dock I docked at, huh? Is this? Yep. It's funny, it's not at all built into the game that the Avatar is too honest to steal. I'm too honest to steal, but I could be doing all kinds of stealing as far as I know. But it is built into the game that the Avatar is too honest to be a shipjacker. If you don't have a deed, you're not getting in that ship. Oh, we're near. We're near our destination. Aha! Why? We just ate. Ah, he's a growing boy. I think it's Spark. That's understandable. Okay. Ugh. Well, as soon as I get the ship parked, so hopefully you can hold out. Ah, there we go. Just gotta get it locked into parallel parking. Yellow, I just wanted to ask you, would you and you alone climb your tired old bones up there? Okay. Did I acquire? I didn't acquire more mutton. It's alright. We've got the mutton that we need to feed Spark. Is Jana hungry too? It could be coming from her. It's not. We'll go down to pause and see our old buddy, the slaughterman, whose name I'm always for Morphin. Mighty Morphin the Butcher Man. Okay. What did I say I wanted to do while I'm here? Join the fellowship. For real. I also played Banjo-Kazooie a bit for the first time. I had seen my friend play a little bit of it, not even on an N64, on one of the first playable N64 emulators. And it was not that playable, and we didn't play much of it. And I've always been a skeptic of the game, not because I didn't think it would be quite fun, which it does turn out to be, but because I pretty frequently hear people advance the perhaps contrarian or perhaps by now it's conventional wisdom view that Banjo-Kazooie is actually a better game than Mario 64, and I'm inclined to be skeptical of claims like that. So I had my guard up. But I played it a little bit, and it's excellent. It's actually quite good. I do not personally consider it so far to be obviously better than Mario 64. I think it does show that in a year or two or three after the development and launch of Mario 64, that developers had got a better handle on some things about both the N64 hardware and the nature of how to navigate in 3D and like run a camera and stuff like that. Okay, let me join first. Oh, there it is. Because I was doing the quest to join, and then there's no way to explain how I couldn't finish the last quest, so I just had to follow up. Great. Awesome. Advancing the plot. You don't understand why that chest was empty? Really? Even though it seems, arguably, like you knew the chest was empty and you were just trying to get me eaten by dragons? I don't know. Maybe you'll forget it. The Avatar will remember that. Yes, and for totally on the up and up reasons, I might add. Just saying that because, just to put a button on it, emphasize it, not for any no. I know it's a strange thing to say, I'm just saying. Alright, well I'll join your terrible fellowship. Your great fellowship. Aren't we all good fellows? Hey, that's the name of the episode. Ah. Alright, fine. I'll attend your meeting. This is the only one of these stupid meetings I'm ever going to attend. So, be glad that you managed to rope me in. Alright. Well, let's consult the Avatar's trusty pocket watch. The nightly meeting is a ways off. Fortunately, I do have the agonizing task of once again finding the mint. There's the theater. Music hall. This time when I find the mint, I'm also going to make note of other things that are right next to it. There's the museum. And then repeat it to myself several times. And we'll see if the next time I come for a currency exchange, I know where the fuck I'm going. Time will tell. I judged a debate competition this weekend. For the first time in my life. I have no experience with debate. But I was invited to do so. It was an engineering student debate competition, as you might suspect. And student societies always ask me to do things, and I say yes. And then I have to do them. It was fun. I don't know that any funny stories or anything came up. But it was a good experience. Great story. We are loving Frosthaven so far. There's another story. We have now played 3 scenarios. And already, in addition to just like the new characters are really cool, well designed within the Gloomhaven system. This is a great addition in that sense. Just cool new characters with cool moves. I'm playing a summoner for the first time, the Aether Bone Shaper. So I'm a necromancer. Fellowship Hall. It's actually kind of funny. During the Kickstarter period, the character was originally called the Aether Necromancer. And then literally, fans started saying, well, that doesn't really sound or feel Gloomhaven-y. Because a big part of Gloomhaven, here we are. Okay. Literally, immediately south of the Castle Drawbridge. Immediately south of the Castle Drawbridge. Immediately south of the Castle Drawbridge. I'm gonna remember that. Maybe. I would like to exchange. Alright. 60 gold coins. Cha-ching. You take care. What could I do to kill time during the day besides sleep in the streets? Like a vagrant. Well, how much more time do I have to kill? How much time did I successfully kill being bad at finding the mint? 1 hour or so. Okay. Let's throw in a save. Not sure I've got time to do this. We're throwing in a save. I'm also going to refer to the map briefly. Pardon me while... Actually, you know what? I'll share the map with you while I look. Behold the map! Oh, absolutely. Like Mario. To go back to what I was just briefly talking about, the difference between every game in the Mario series was enormous in terms of technological advancement And it all just... Yeah, okay. So there's the serpent spine, which is basically attached to Britain now in the way that Britannia has developed. Probably it's up there where I might find the magic carpet. That's a thing that we can do while we wait. So let's do it. Yeah, I played a little Banjo-Kazooie. I've been playing way more F-Zero X. And ultimately playing way more, like, spend my weekend judging a debate competition and call my ISP and be like, I tried those things. Can we agree it's not my fault now? But I played a bit of Banjo-Kazooie. It's fun. The controls are definitely tighter than Mario. I don't necessarily like Banjo's moveset as much as Mario's, but control-wise, it's smoother. The camera's less frustrating. We aren't quite at dynamic, effective, responsive cameras yet, but we'll get there in time. I have a delay problem, British. I don't know what the pronoun that is referring to in your post, in your message. So I'm not sure if I really believe it to be working. Okay. So I'm just going up. And seeing if what looks to me like a little way into the serpent spine actually exists. And it might not. Okay, let me run back down. Back south. If there's anywhere that it'll kind of let me into the range, then we're going to try that. And I got to remember to occasionally glance at my pocket watch so we don't overshoot time. Back past the pants. Okay, so we're way in to the spine. Like the map kind of seems to show. No. There's not. So now I'm taking the other way. Now I'm back in Britain. Just going to go all the way up along the mountain. See if anything offers me a way in. There's some kind of structure up there with windows. Is that just where the wisps live? Quite possibly. Okay. Time check. 4:34. If nothing else, we're succeeding at passing time. Anyway, yeah, Banjo-Kazooie is pretty cool. It's not going to make me forget Mario 64, at least. But it is pretty cool. That's all I'll say. Actually, the one other thing I'll say is that I knew that Banjo-Kazooie is kind of credited with starting the collect-a-thon trend in the 3D platformer. Where for a while, the idea of every 3D platformer was that there are a million different types of bingo bongles for you to find in every world. And you just look for them all. But even knowing that does not intellectually prepare you to play the first world of Banjo-Kazooie and have it stop, grind to a halt every time you touch a thing so that it can go, we're a this. There are this many of us in each world, and if you collect us, we do this. You're like, okay. Jeez. And then it turns out, because this is the earliest one, they haven't gone, the whole thing hasn't gotten messy yet. It mostly all just amounts to everything you collect either gets you a puzzle piece or opens one of these random progress gates in the hub world, or what's the third thing? Is a consumable item. So that's not too bad. But it is definitely like, this is Mario 64 for people who thought that there weren't enough different colors of star in Mario 64. Can I get into the spine anywhere? If I go up here, I reach the limit, and I've already searched down there. I've seen that building that seems to be up there in the serpent's spine. But I know not how I might get to it. That was real bad imitation early modern English. I apologize. I have a master's degree in English. I should be able to do it better than that. I am glad you found something that I said recently funny. I don't know what it might have been. Alright. Well, we've circumnavigated here. Although this will also be a task if the stream still hasn't picked up. Not the stream, but my ability to broadcast isn't repaired. Oh man. 5 minutes. Brutal. Yeah. We're coming to a close here, ultimately. Ultimately. 6:28. I think their meeting is probably at 9 p.m. But I guess I should check, because if it starts early, wouldn't want to miss it. Nope. Okay. Well, head back up there once more. And see. You know, perhaps this is a thing. Yeah, okay. If I still can't get a good steady stream going, so I don't want to get back to the Liche quest in Skara Brae next week, I'm gonna dig down and really try to find the magic carpet. Because what just occurred to me is maybe getting access within the serpent spine comes down to, I don't know, comes down to actually entering Dungeon Despise. So, okay, what if I go along here? I think the entrance to Despise is quite close. If I'm remembering correctly, which I could easily not be. I don't know. Okay. Put a pin in that. But that's a thought. Maybe getting to the spine involves going through Despise, because I haven't been given any other reason to go to Despise yet, I don't think. And eventually, surely there's a reason. Or if there's not, perhaps there's a side quest type reason. It's only become 7:30. I'll save my progress. I've made it all the way to 7:30 now. This is what I just did. Oh, but I can walk under. Who wants it? Come get it. Come get it. Ooze! Cleaning up this town. Very nice. Do. Danger? Boy, I hope that dog had ill intentions. We've already looted this campsite. It's getting authentically dark. Someone starts a campfire there every night and then just leaves their dog to be killed. Now, it's 8:10. All right. The spine searching is over for now. But if we can't have a nice, smooth, synchronous journey to the Liche's Dark Tower next weekend, we'll hunker down and we will find our way through. To the Serpent Spine, one way or another, whether it's through the spies or random wandering or getting, like, there's structures in the mountains there. I don't know what's going on with them, but they definitely exist. Oh yeah. To resume my Frosthaven thoughts. I'm enjoying being the Aether Bone Shaper, who was hilariously changed to the Aether Bone Shaper because the fans were like, "Come on, Isaac, you never just call the things by their traditional RPG class names." And he was like, "You're right. What's a fancy sounding way to name a necromancer?" I'm having fun with that. And I'm really enjoying, I mean, everything we've seen so far, I'm really enjoying. Oh, yeah, everyone's here fresh on time. Alright, Batlin, you terrible freak. And we've beaten 3 scenarios, and I've found that, I mean, the fun scenarios, it's refreshing to be fighting new enemies. The art style of the game, I think, is refined and matured from Gloomhaven while still being recognizably Gloomhaven. They've done a great job of rebalancing the number of different types of overlay tiles. There's far fewer little pieces to put on top of the map tiles, and they're used more efficiently. So it's easier to store those parts and retrieve them. I like that. Big moment here. And I'm also finding that they're doing a great job of weaving a narrative, at least so far, 3 scenarios in the gameplay. Like, for example, we chose which faction of the Algox to align Frosthaven with by getting to a boss fight where there were 2 bosses representing the 2 factions, and then defeating the boss that we didn't want to join. Okay. My friends, I originally created the Fellowship to help ready Britannia and its people for the future. Today, one of the greatest symbols of its past has come here to join our Fellowship. That's me, great symbol of the past. This is a great day, for as our past and present intertwine, we shall send a message which shall be heard throughout Britannia. Soon all of its peoples will strive together for unity. The gathering breaks into loud cheers. When they hear that the Avatar has become a member of the Fellowship, those who were at first distrustful of us will come to see the truth of what we stand for. Unless the Avatar shows up and personally tells them, I'm only joining them to bring them down from the inside. Which I will try to do. Then we may bring about a day when all of Britannia is worthy of the ample rewards it shall receive. Art thou quite certain, James, that thou dost wish to join with these people? Buddy, we're bringing them down from the inside. I'm crafty, ELO. Now is the time when our members give their testimonials. of how they have been applying the triad of inner strength to their lives. Who shall be the first? Fellowship has taught me to live with the shortcomings of others, says Gay. On the one hand, that's a classic lesson of stoicism. Marcus Aurelius spends a fair bit of time on how annoying other people are in his meditations. And specifically in service of saying, you gotta just live with it. Fellowship helps me be more honest with people. The fellowship has taught me not to let others push me around. The triad of inner strength has helped me improve my skills and build better weapons. The fellowship has given my life a whole new purpose. Just today I've recruited 2 more potential members. The fellowship has taught me about the evils of the class structure. Okay, I'll give them that. ELO, come on, man. No, we're not leaving the premises, Shimino. It's gonna be okay, guys, I think. Or maybe this is like joining the Dragon Lord in Dragon Quest. The screen just goes red at the end and you and Batlin rule at the Guardian's side with an iron fist. In which case, we'll load the save. Now is the time to welcome the newest member of the Fellowship to sit at our table. He beckons me to join him at the podium, and I'm already here. He pours a glass of wine, takes a sip. The goblet is passed around, each member respectively taking a sip. Finally, the goblet is handed to me. See, back where I come from, we have all this knowledge of the germ theory of disease. It's not thoughtfulness that I'm looking at it with. I'm looking... Is there a spot here that's not smudged with the lips of the other Fellowship members? Dupre, all right. Team, trust the Avatar. One more test of loyalty. Presumes I've read the Book of Fellowship by now. He must ask me 2 questions. The answers may be found within the book. I am the author. Didst thou know? Well, never mind. Here we go. According to the Traveller's Companion, how many parts of the body should one wish to protect with armor? I can probably just reason this out, but why not just look up the answer? Open the answers book. Oh, yeah, Batlin questions. 6. Let's think this through. Head. Body. Legs. That's 3. Feet. I can't think of any other body parts. I'll look at the paper doll in a minute and see if I can actually put this together. 6, I believe, is the answer you're looking for. How many runes are in the archaic script of the outdated Britannian language? Begging the question, sir. But there's 31. Nope, can't just type it. The most is the way of the future. So much easier to enter a 2-digit number by dragging a thing along a bar than it is to press 2 keys. I got an official medallion. Wear it at all times. I'm not going to do that, but I'll wear it when I think it might be useful to me. Alright, team. Don't worry. We don't believe in it. Although I am immediately wearing it. I'm going to keep it on for the moment. Because the last thing we're going to do today is just see. I'm going to go back to the pirates. And we're going to see... Oh, stop it with the bad feelings. We're not really joining the fellowship team. If you've never heard of a double agent before. Doodle-doo, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Maybe I'll glance at the map just to refresh my memory of the rough alignment here. Oh, here we are. Pirate land. Just looking for our way in. Southern Dock. There we are. Very nice. Bring her in. Little parallel parking skills. Alright. We've made landfall. See if I can find my trusty pocket watch. Get a sense of how long I should sleep. We know these pirates sleep late. It's only 10:04. In fact, these pirates are probably still up. Why don't I go to the gambling spot and see if being a member gets me somewhere? Hey, pal. Yes? Seen Hook? You don't know anyone. Yeah, okay. What's your job again? You're the master of the games. What name do I sign? I'm James. I'm a fellowship member. I'll surely find my reward at these tables. He winks and nudges at me. So you're called the Mister. So you're Mr. Gordy. What can you do for me? So this is your house of games? I'm just curious if you're going to open a secret door for me now that I'm a member. Or perhaps they'll do that at the Fellowship Hall, which I'll also try. What? I'm not here trying to horn in on your illegal business. Okay. I'm the Avatar. Oh, that's not me, no. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm a fellowship member. Game's a skill, you say? This is your host of games. Interested party. Yeah, I have no questions about that. But you're making good money? Okay. Forget it. This is just a nog, right? Yeah. Oh, so if I've got an in with Danag to use the secret fellowship entrance, can't do that until the morning when he goes back to work. So here we are. Check my watch once more. It's 10:19. Not nearly as much time as I might have hoped had passed. Well, hopefully the fellowship guy at least. What are you talking about, Spark? There, is that good enough for you, kid? A lot. Give me a solid 12.
Yes, my friend, rest and heal. so that you are strong and able to face the perils before you. Pleasant dreams.
I have arisen. Yeah. Hunger is a pressing issue. Uh-oh. Oops, the avatar ate first. It's not very virtuous. What are you gonna do? Sometimes it just gets tiring being the most virtuous person around. Because these are just bottles? Yeah. Not weird looking fruit. Saramed, are you stashing any food, buddy? You've got the very important music box. No, don't move it. It won't fit there anyway. Are you holding any mutton, Spark? No. But he does have his tasty pastry. Pastry for breakfast for the kid. He can have that meat. Maybe we got them all. Otherwise, we'll have to buy some food. Here's the Fellowship Hall. Here's Danag. Hey, Danag. Do you know anything about Hook now? He doesn't. He's the interim leader. Fellowship. Oh, I can specifically ask about Abraham. Cool. What about Elizabeth? She's an intelligent woman, director of special projects. Like stupid tributes to horrible dudes. Okay. So the Buccaneer's den has changed, you say? He says that the Buccaneer's den pays taxes now, but the House of Games claims not to pay taxes. Purely innocent business. Well, my theory may or may not be a bust. No. Can't use the Fellowship Medallion. If I move that podium, there's no hidden switch. And the ones who didn't get to eat are now complaining that they're hungry. What's in this sealed box? Just money, but at any rate, even though we're members now, it's probably wrong to steal, so I won't. Okay. I am well aware, for the experienced Ultima 7 players watching this stream, that when I eventually get my way into these tunnels, it's going to turn out to have been something obvious. I'm very cognizant of that likely eventuality. Must have food? Well, shit. I hope we remember where the tavern is soon. Can anybody smell food? I know, I hear you. I hear what you're saying and I respect it. And I acknowledge it and all of that good stuff, but if you can't help me find the food cellar, what am I supposed to do? get it again. We're all very hungry. This is madness. Does somebody else have food? Dupre, are you squirreling food? Oh, thank goodness. Have this flank steak. What's this? A bottle of beer. Is anybody else still starving? No, we bought ourselves a little time. I can't believe how often I fail to remember where the tavern is. Here it is. Okay, right north of the baths. Noted for the future. Hey, Mandy. What do you do here? I know what you do. Ah, sorry. What did you... Let me just engage you in conversation again. Breakfast, dinner, and late night hours. So what? Did I miss breakfast? What time is it? Okay. Hopefully, the dinner they're talking about serving. Yeah, because somebody else is starving. Hey! Oh, good. Excellent. Dinner as in lunch, not as in supper, as people sometimes say it. 6 gold? Wait, I meant to say... Yes, I'd like something else. What? Okay. No, that's fine. I'll have your flounder. Just give me 14 flounder, please. Hilo steps up for the team. Great talking to you, Mandy. The lunch rush. We just beat the lunch rush there. Okay, who's starving? Are you starving, Dupre? No. Are you starving, Saramet, the new guy? No. Are you starving, Shimino? Yes. Well, buddy, good news for you. Tilt back your head and open your jaw as wide as you can while I chew this flounder. There. Much better. Nobody's dying. There. I think this is the point where I say, let's hit this with renewed vigor next week. If the streaming issues are resolved, we're going to Skara Brae and we're doing the big exciting thing. If the streaming issues are not resolved, we are finding things to do, which will include continuing to try to figure out what I know is going to turn out to be an obvious thing about getting in to the tunnels of Buccaneer's Den, and renew my efforts around the Serpent Spine. Maybe go into Dungeon to Spies, this and that, putter about, talk to folks, buy some new spells, do different things. I'm saving the Liche until it all just feels right. But alright, I think that's it for today. Thank you for morally justifying my selfishness. That's a perfect message to it's a perfect affirmation to receive right before I shut down here. So I'll leave this going for several minutes so that it actually ends for everybody, but I'll be gone. So if you stuck around to the end, wow, awesome dedication despite all the buffering. I'm glad you were here. I was happiest when we were in sync, but even as we get a little bit out of sync, I'm still glad you're here. If you came and you left, I understand. The buffering is probably annoying, but I'm glad you stopped by. So thank you. I don't know if we're going to bother doing Greg and James beat 'em up, and also I know nobody cares, but maybe Greg will come over on Tuesday and we'll do it, even though I don't think the new modem will be installed by then. Otherwise, Friday will be Friday Night Frosthaven. We're almost certainly doing that. And then next weekend, I really hope to get back to Live Alive on Saturday, and then even more to get back to dedicated pushing forward in Ultima 7 right here at just a proper, consistent upload speed. We'll see if that happens, but I certainly hope it does, especially because Danielle's gone away next weekend. So if I could, I got nothing else to do. So it'd be nice. We'll see. Hey. So anyway, we got a Discord. If you'd like to have another means of communicating with me where I don't see your message right away, because I'm not always diligent about checking the Discord. But there is a Discord server, and I'd love to chat with you about anything. So come on by. Follow this channel. I've got my YouTube page. I don't think there's really anything else to promote. It's all good. Glad you stopped by. It's a lot of fun. And until the next time, the stars align. We're all roughly in the same time and all in the same place. Take care of yourselves. They're starving. It's okay. We're going to load that away, and then we'll feed them with flounder next time. Take care of yourselves, and be kind to everyone you meet.